Hans Wilsdorf was born in Bavaria, Germany in 1881. Tragically, both his parents died by the time he was 12. Young Hans was orphaned. He was sent to live with his uncle. Hans's uncle believed in hard work and education. He encouraged Hans to study. Hans excelled in school, particularly in mathematics. Math fascinated him. He was intrigued by the precision and logic of numbers. Even as a young boy, Hans understood the importance of time. He saw how time governed the days and marked the passing seasons. Yet he lived in a world where timekeeping was a luxury few could afford. He dreamed of a day when everyone could own a reliable, accurate timepiece. After finishing school, Hans left Bavaria. He journeyed to Switzerland, the heart of watchmaking. He was determined to learn the craft of creating precise timepieces. He found work as an apprentice in a small watchmaking company. Life as an apprentice was challenging. The work was demanding, requiring meticulous attention to detail. The days were long, and the pay was meager. But Hans persevered. He was driven by his passion for horology and his dream of making quality watches accessible to everyone. Hans learned quickly. He absorbed everything about the intricate art of watchmaking. He studied the mechanics of gears and springs. He mastered the delicate art of assembling tiny components. He was eager to innovate and improve upon traditional watchmaking methods. In 1905, at the young age of 24, Hans Wilsdorf took a bold step. He used his savings to start his own company. He partnered with his brother-in-law, Alfred Davis. They named their company Wilsdorf and Davis. Their vision was simple yet ambitious. They wanted to create wristwatches that were not only accurate, but also elegant and reliable. At the time, wristwatches were seen as novelties, primarily worn by women. Men favored pocket watches, which were considered more accurate and durable. Wilsdorf and Davis faced skepticism from traditional watchmakers. They were told that wristwatches would never be as precise or reliable as pocket watches. But Hans remained undeterred. He believed in his vision. He was convinced that wristwatches could be both stylish and dependable. Hans Wilsdorf was obsessed with the accuracy of his watches. He sought out the finest movements available. He sent his watches to a renowned Swiss observatory for testing. In 1910, a Wilsdorf and Davis wristwatch made history. It was awarded the first ever chronometer certification for a wristwatch. This achievement was a turning point. It proved that wristwatches could be just as accurate as pocket watches. Wilsdorf knew he needed a brand name that was easy to pronounce and remember in any language. In 1915, he registered the trademark Rolex. The name Rolex was a stroke of genius. It was short, memorable, and evoked a sense of precision and excellence. Some say that Wilsdorf chose Rolex because it sounded like the ticking of a watch. Others believe it was a combination of French words meaning wheel and exquisite. Whatever its origin, the name Rolex quickly became synonymous with quality and prestige. Section 5, wristwatches, from novelty to necessity. The outbreak of World War I brought about a significant change in timekeeping habits. Soldiers in the trenches needed to know the time quickly and easily. Pocket watches were, well, impractical in the heat of battle. Wristwatches, with their convenient wristband design, proved to be indispensable. Hans Wilsdorf recognized this shift in demand. He focused on designing wristwatches that were durable, reliable, and easy to read in adverse conditions. Rolex watches quickly gained popularity among soldiers and pilots. They became known for their accuracy and resilience. After the war, the demand for wristwatches continued to grow. Men had become accustomed to the convenience and practicality of wearing a watch on their wrist. Wristwatches were no longer seen as a feminine accessory. They had become an essential tool for modern life. Section 6. Oyster conquering land and sea. In 1926, Rolex achieved another groundbreaking milestone. They introduced the Oyster, the world's first waterproof wristwatch. The Oyster case was ingeniously designed with a hermetically sealed caseback and a screw-down crown, making it impervious to water, dust, and dirt. To prove the Oyster's waterproofness, Hans Wilsdorf equipped a young English swimmer, Mercedes Gleitze, with an Oyster watch for her attempt to swim across the English Channel. After over 10 hours in the cold water, Gleitze emerged victorious, and her Rolex Oyster was still ticking perfectly. The Oyster was a revelation. It demonstrated that Rolex watches were not only precise timekeepers, but also incredibly durable and reliable in even the most extreme conditions. It solidified Rolex's reputation as an innovator and a leader in the watchmaking industry. Section 7. Cosmograph, reaching for the stars. In 1945, Rolex launched another iconic timepiece, the Datejust. It was the first wristwatch to feature a date window on the dial, a complication that quickly became a standard feature in many watches. The Datejust was a symbol of elegance and practicality, appealing to both men and women. Then in 1953, Rolex introduced the Submariner, a watch specifically designed for diving. The Submariner featured a rotating bezel for tracking dive times, and a luminous dial for underwater visibility. It was water-resistant, up to 200 meters, making it the ideal timepiece for professional divers and underwater explorers. In 1963, Rolex unveiled the Cosmograph Daytona, a chronograph designed for racing drivers. The Cosmograph Daytona featured a tachymeter bezel for measuring speed and a high beat movement for precise timing. It quickly became a favorite among professional racers and motorsport enthusiasts. Section 8. The Crown, a symbol of excellence. Throughout its history, Rolex has consistently pushed the boundaries of watchmaking. They have registered over 1,000 patents for their innovations in watch design, materials, and manufacturing processes. Rolex watches are renowned for their precision, durability, and timeless elegance. The Rolex Crown logo is instantly recognizable worldwide. It is a symbol of luxury, performance, and achievement. Rolex watches are coveted by collectors, celebrities, and individuals who appreciate the finest craftsmanship and enduring value. Rolex has also maintained a strong commitment to philanthropy and exploration. The Rolex Awards for enterprise support individuals who are working to improve life on Earth and protect our planet. The Rolex Mentor and Protégé Arts Initiative pairs emerging artists with masters in their fields for a year of creative collaboration. Section 9. A Legacy Forged in Time. Hans Wilsdorf, the orphan boy who dreamed of creating perfect timepieces, passed away in 1960. He left behind a legacy that continues to inspire and innovate. Rolex remains one of the most respected and admired watch brands in the world. From its humble beginnings in a small workshop in Switzerland, Rolex has become a global icon. Rolex watches are worn by explorers, athletes, leaders, and everyday people who value precision, reliability, and timeless style. The story of Rolex is a testament to the power of vision, determination, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. It is a reminder that even an orphan boy from humble beginnings can achieve extraordinary things with passion, hard work, and an unwavering belief in his dreams.